Okay, so the last video on the veins lab will be on slice man. So the first thing it says is to find the internal jugular vein and the common carotid artery at the level of the jugular notch. And it should be on section number 7. So here's slice 7. The jugular notch would be right here. So we are on slice 7 where we find that jugular notch. And then this will be the right internal jugular vein, left internal jugular vein, right common carotid artery, left common carotid artery. The next part on the lab says to list the most inferior neck section showing the right and left vertebral arteries. So you have to actually go up one slice to see that. So remember, the vertebral arteries run through the transverse foramen of the cervical vertebrae. You'll always know that you're looking at a cervical vertebrae if it has those 2 extra holes called the transverse foramen. So this would be the left vertebral artery and the right vertebral artery. Then it says to locate a section showing the blue colored venous dural sinuses on the lateral aspects of the brain. So we'll start from slice 2 and work our way down. And it asks what is their function, and dural venous sinuses sends the fluid from CSF back into circulation to go back to the heart, and then we can reoxygenate that fluid, that plasma, and then eventually make more CSF through the choroid plexuses. But that's Bio 32 information, so it's just for recycling CSF. You can write that if you want a simple explanation. So this would be the dural venous sinus here. On slice 3, these 1, 2, 3 would be dural venous sinuses. And then behind the cerebellum here, and here would also be dural venous sinuses. Next one says, even though you can't see the vessels, which section would house the subclavian artery and vein, and how do you know? Subclavian means underneath the clavicle. So here are the clavicles, here and here. So it would be on slice 7, but it's just not cut deep enough for that. Next is, what is the most inferior section that shows both the apex and a section of the liver? So if we keep going down, we can see on slice number 10, yes, here is the apex of the heart here and a section of the liver. So this would be the inferior vena cava here, and then the abdominal aorta here. And we know it's the abdominal aorta because we're past the top of the diaphragm here. So we're into the, that would be abdominal aorta. If we go down one more slice, we can still see inferior vena cava and abdominal aorta. And I believe the next part of the lab asks you to look for the femoral artery and vein. So we have to go down to where the femur is. Here would be the right femoral vein, right femoral artery, left femoral vein, left femoral artery. And we can actually see it one more time. Right femoral vein, right femoral artery. And that's it for, actually, you know what? Let's actually go back up so I can see more of the aorta, but I think I might have done that in a previous video. I don't remember. We showed the abdominal aorta and the inferior vena cava. If we're behind the heart, it would be the thoracic aorta. And the next slice up actually shows the aortic arch. And then this would be the superior vena cava. And that would be it for slice man here.